Hello everybody, welcome to Project Beauty, where we talk about project panning and everything beauty related. My name is Jen. I recently did a poll on my community tab and I put who wants to see what in the near future. So I had 5 options. One was a get ready with me, one was an eyeshadow collection, one was a tutorial using the Pat McGrath holiday palette, which is this one here. One was a makeup collection and organization tour, and then one was a dupe eyeshadow palette for the Natasha Denona Retro, which is right here. Was it Retro? I think it's whatever the newest one was. I think that's the Retro one. Anyhow, I had an overwhelming response out of all of those 5 for make like an eyeshadow palette collection. So I'm going to show you guys everything that I own. This is the very first drawer. There are, I believe, 4 of them. I'm pretty organized with my stuff, so if I was, you know, the type to stack and everything like that, I would probably be able to dwindle it down to maybe 3. But I do like to have everything organized by brand, kind of, and make sure that they're like up so that I can see what they're called and everything. So you will see that throughout the video, that they're pretty much all like standing upright. And if you do see that there's like openings, it's either because I've decluttered recently or I have like I have them out of my shop, my stash. Sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought already. So let's go ahead and just get started right into it. This is the first palette drawer, and the reason this is the top palette drawer is because these are the eyeshadows that I like mostly try to gravitate toward. These are like some of the newer ones and some of the ones that I definitely use the most. So we'll start off at the front here. These ones are my MAC duos. I have videos on these. Definitely check out my channel if you want to see swatches on every single one of these palettes. Definitely these are my most loved. I've depotted all of these from singles, and some of them I bought just as individual pans. I do need to wipe these off. I hate having any kind of dirty, like I don't like it looking like there's eyeshadow stuff everywhere. So I do have to wipe this one off. But this is my most used, and I think that's wise because I have a lot of kick up in here, because I definitely use these ones the most, especially this side. And this side was one of my most loved sides, but I have since moved on to like purpley mauve tones. So I used to use this a lot. You'll see a lot of dips in a lot of these eyeshadows because I definitely use them. This one right here, I can't remember what it's called, but it's such a beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow and I love it so much. I'm not sure if it's Rule. I can't remember what it's called. I'm so sorry. But anyhow, really love that. I should actually put some kind of labeling on these, like on this white insert thing. I don't know. I gotta figure something out, but I never really use them too much in my videos, and I don't know why. I really should, honestly. But I think it's because most people like the pre-made palettes that come out, and I don't really talk a lot about my MAC singles. So these are the neutral ones, very like cooler toned, more neutral looking colors with like a pop of color here and a pop of color here. A lot of these are more like browns, neutral browns, cool tone browns, some like peaches, and just like soft shades, some golds. And then this side is my very cool tone grays and taupes and some like soft, like light soft hint of peach colors. And then this one, I really like applying this with the grays and the subtle peaches. I don't know why, but this individual color right here just looks so good with peaches and grays. It's just a really nice flattering color, so I usually throw that pop of color in with these eyeshadows. I believe this is Satin Taupe. This is one of my most loved eyeshadows that I think I've ever used of all time, and I have already panned one of those from MAC. You know how hard it is to pan a MAC eyeshadow, but I panned one of those when I was younger, and it was like the only eyeshadow that I wore for like a year. It took me so long to use it up, but it was really good. This one is, again, I usually have like one side of like browns and neutrals, and so this one is my more like warm toned, I guess. There's a cool one here, but there's like, I usually throw a mishmash, but most of them are structured to the tone. So to me, these are more like warm, and then like a few like warmer like orangey duotone shades. It's really hard to see because I'm swatching a bunch on that one finger. And then on this side I have my more like blues and greens and stuff like that. I didn't want to have like two sides of cool tone browns, and I feel like these beautiful warm shades are kind of complementary to these, honestly. Sometimes I like to like mix and match. So I did have a couple other eyeshadows in here, but I moved them over to a different palette. And then I do have another one which isn't in here. It's in a project currently, so I will show you guys that when we go up to my vanity. This is my MAC eyeshadow times 15 warm neutral. I did have the cool neutral, but I sold that one. And then I also had in the flesh, which I just recently decluttered. I don't really use these that often, honestly. I think I usually have dupes of most of the eyeshadows that are in these, like in my singles. So I don't know why I went and purchased those pre-made palettes from them. Then I also have the Art Library. This one is Flamboyant. This is such a beautiful, beautiful palette. It is so nice. Really highly recommend. It comes with a really nice big mirror. I'm not going to show you because you're just going to see the rest of the room and me, and I'm just really not camera ready today. But this is such a beautiful, like very, very warm toned eyeshadow palette, and it's got every single thing you'd need to create a beautiful look. These eyeshadows are legit stunning. This is something that I would definitely travel with for sure, and it's so sturdy, and I really like the front that you can kind of see what you're getting in the palette. Same thing with this one. You know it's going to be a little bit more colorful, and this one is in its designer. Same thing, this one comes with a really huge mirror. Also beautiful, beautiful eyeshadows. I believe I have a couple of these already in my collection. I know I bought that one the same time I bought the palette, not realizing it was already in there because I didn't check. I was just excited. And I don't usually wear these blues, but other than that, I'm really excited to just like throw this on. I created a couple looks with this palette and it was so beautiful. But you guys know I am a huge supporter of MAC. I've always loved them. Then I also got this palette that came out this year, and it's just so beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. It's a very soft palette. It's not very dramatic. There's beautiful shimmers in here. This one is called Feast Your Eyes, and it's an 8-pan. They're just absolutely beautiful, like toppers, just really gorgeous. You can just throw this all over your eye and then throw like a little bit of this in the center of the lid, maybe this to deepen up the outer corner, or if you wanted to do like a halo eye. Like, this is just so beautiful. The eyeshadows are relatively smooth, especially these ones here with this formula. It's just a very soft formula, and so you're gonna go through them relatively quickly, where these ones are super, super hard. Like, they're all really hard pressed because of the intricate pan design. But once you get through that top layer, like, you really pick up a lot of product, but you will definitely go through the pans like relatively quickly. But I really do love this. Next I have my Violet Voss section, which I believe as soon as I like accumulate more Huda stuff, those are going to go down the bottom. But these are my Violet Voss Bright Vibes eyeshadow palette. I have 2 pans in this one, things that were in projects, and I'm enjoying this. It isn't like the most pigmented like color story, but at the same time it's a great color story, and I really enjoy this palette. And I also have the Coral Crush, which is just a very beautiful summer palette. I really like this. I wasn't going to get it, but I could not stop thinking about it. Just the shades in here are absolutely stunning, and I really needed to get my hands on this. Really beautiful, beautiful eyeshadows. I'm not really sure if you can even see that, but it's just really, really beautiful eyeshadows. And I was recommended this by a few people on, like, when I made my video duping coral eyeshadows in my collection, and a couple of people mentioned how great this was, and I had to get it, so I did pick it up, and I'm really happy that I did. Now these are all my Huda palettes right here. So the first one is the Rose Gold Edition. This is the original, not the remastered, of course. I don't use it that often, but I need to, and I don't know why I don't, because for me these are beautiful eyeshadows, and I know that people aren't crazy about the formula. I think these are really dry compared to what she has now, but I think if you work well with them, like if you can really get a good primer or a good base, whatever, then I think you'll do really well, because look at that payoff just for one color. So really enjoy that. for the little amount that I've used it. This is the Desert Dusk eyeshadow palette. Absolutely stunning. I love this. Like, I know people are always like, oh, why is her face on everything, whatever, but she's got the most beautiful eyes. I absolutely love it. I would probably do the same thing if I looked like her. And again, colorful story is just so wonderful. I really like the story of I really like the color story in here. I enjoy the fact that it's super warm, but it offers just a few kind of cool tone shades. Because for me, again, I like to mix textures and colors and undertones and all that stuff. There's a little bit of a glitter in here, which I'm not like the most excited about. I don't use a lot of pressed glitter. But at the same time, you know, it's nice to have a bit of different option. And her eyeshadow palettes, like, definitely, you know, you get some different things in them. Like this one, this is the new nude palette. In this one, you get that concealer shade, so you can put that all over your lid. I'm sure mine is like hella dried out. Oh yeah, it's like so dried out. And then you get these crushed textured eyeshadows. When you like blend through them, you're gonna get a really nice color. Then also 2 pressed pigments. She's trying to give you a lot of option, and I think, like, in all honesty, if you wanted something neutral, you definitely get that. And then if you want to maybe punch it up for evening or do something a little more dramatic, then you have those options right there. But is everyone interested in pressed glitters? No, but I don't think you're ever going to cater to what every single person wants. So she might as well do what she likes. And you know, she's like, people are going to buy these. They're absolutely stunning palettes with great formula. Then they changed to the plastic packaging. So this is the Mercury Retrograde. And what I like about this is the fact that it's very out of the box for Huda. She mixes a lot of like the green tones and purple tones and neutral tones, and there's a lot of beautiful shimmers. Like, I don't think she used this formula before this palette. So just absolutely stunning, stunning shimmers. And I'm really impressed with this palette. It's a little light for me, and this dark shade looks really dark, but it doesn't show up this dark on the eye for some reason. I feel like it's not as deep as I would like it to when it actually gets on your eye. But at the same time, I'm really impressed with this, and it's probably a fan favorite, I think, from a lot of people on YouTube and a lot of people who are in the makeup community that just thoroughly enjoy collecting. This is probably a big fan favorite from a lot of people. So really recommend this one. It's definitely different than a lot of the things I have in my collection. And then there's the Naughty palette that just came out last year about this time. And it's so beautiful, and I most definitely need to get into this more. I think I've used it like once or twice because I have so much makeup. I really need to just start using my things, and unfortunately this is one that is just forgotten because of all the stuff that I have and the things that I put in projects. But this will be out of my, like, into my Shop My Stash or some of my projects in the near future for sure. But it's a very beautiful palette. It reminds me a lot of the Rich palette that she came out with in the 9-pan version, the little small one. And I really, really like that she has an eyeshadow palette that would be geared toward like mid-tone or deeper tone skin people, because a lot of these other ones, like the new nude and stuff like that, I feel like it's just way too light, you know. Like, this time it's for everybody. This one can be for everybody. And then she just came out with the Rose Quartz. This is the box for it. Now she doesn't do the plastic outward thing, which is great. And again, it's in that beautiful like plasticky packaging. I actually don't mind this cardboard packaging from her. But yeah, it came in this one this time. And the reason it's in the box is because it isn't used yet. So anytime you see a palette in my collection that still has the box on like this, it's because I haven't even used it yet, which is a shame. So this is the new one. I haven't swatched it. I've only looked at it, but it's absolutely stunning. It reminds me a lot of Mercury Retrograde and a little bit of the Rich palette and a little bit of the new nude. So you get a little bit of everything in here, and it's a good companion palette for pretty much all of her previous eyeshadow palettes. They play well together, and I'm really excited for the formulas that are in here and the duochromes. I like that she's always changing it up and adding things and getting people talking. I don't mind so much that she adds those kinds of shadows in here, but I haven't really worn it yet, so I'm going to try or even use it maybe as like a cheek highlight, because I think that would be something that would be really good as a cheek highlight. So unfortunately I haven't used that one yet. Now we'll go to the back part. So I'm just going to lift these MAC ones up, and we'll start off with the Natasha Denona bronze palette. I don't know if these ones are in order. I don't believe they are, so please forgive me, but this is just how I have them in here from when I last grabbed them. So this is the bronze palette. It's absolutely stunning. What I like about this one is it's very nice for when you are feeling like very warm, tanned skin in the summer. You want to look like you're going on a vacation or you've been somewhere warm. Like, this just gives me those hot, like, sexy vibes. I love this so much. I feel like it's just one of those eyeshadow palettes that is almost like a staple in your collection because it has all the neutrals that you really need. It's got nice crease shades. It's got a lot of really beautiful lid shades, especially these ones, but I noticed that there's quite a few that look similar. So let's just see. Like, those ones look incredibly similar. And then also this one right here looks similar. So you have 3 eyeshadows that look very, very close. I mean, on the eye, are you really gonna notice that big of a difference? Probably not. And the next one is the Zendo palette. I apologize for all the fingerprints. That's another thing that I don't like about these, but they're absolutely beautiful palettes if you can keep them clean. I like the fact that the mirror is so structured on here. It doesn't just fall. That's something I really like about these. They're not super, super heavy, so it's easy to hold in your hand when you're applying them to yourself or to others. And it's just a nice size palette, and the eyeshadows all pop out, so you can go ahead and recreate your palettes if you want, or you can put them all into a different, like a Z palette or an empty palette, and then put them back. Like, I love the fact that she does that because a lot of artists right now, or a lot of like makeup enthusiasts, are enjoying making their own eyeshadow palettes, myself included. And I just feel like it gives you a lot more freedom than just bringing out like 5 palettes to make a look with something that maybe you just wanted to grab like 2 from here or 2 from there. You know what I'm trying to say. You can just do what you want because you can pull them out. But what I like about this one is also that it kind of reminds me of my MAC palettes, where there's more neutrals on one side and then there's more like colors on the other. And then it also gives you like a pop of red or a pop of peach, but they're also like really calm shades. They're not super, super bold where you're gonna be scared to put these on your eyes. And the textures are so nice, and it just gives you such an array of, like, you can tell that bothers me when there's like the hiccup all over the pan. But it just gives you a nice array of option. And I mean, you can go in row this way, rows this way. You can just like do what you want, go sideways. It just gives you so many options of how to use this palette. And like, it's easy to travel with. It's super easy to use. It's super light. Like, I really, really, really like the midi size palettes. I don't own any of the larger ones, and I wish all of her eyeshadow palettes were this size because they're perfect. The next one is the Glam palette, and this one I wasn't going to buy at first because I have a couple of other neutral eyeshadows, like cool toned eyeshadows, pardon me. But I needed this one because for some reason it just really spoke to me when I looked at these shades. I felt like this brown right here and this brown right here were more neutral than cool, and then the rest of the stuff was very, very cool toned. And then this right here reminds me a little bit more of like a neutral copper bronze. Like, it's not super cool toned to me. I don't even know if you can see that. So for me, I really enjoyed the fact that it seemed like there were some neutrals and then cools, not always just cool tone shades. But that's just me. I'm pretty sure these are more like on the cool tone side, really. But in my mind, like, I'm looking at this as like this is a neutral brown, not a cool tone brown, because I don't see as much gray in there as I do with, say, this shade. But I like that because then it kind of gives the eye a little bit more dimension and a little more texture, where instead of if it was just all cool tone, it just makes your eye look very cold looking. Like, I don't know how to explain that except for the fact that I really like to mix my tones and textures. I really enjoy her eyeshadow formulas, and I like the fact that this is just such an easy palette to use. When you look at this, you're not going to get a big mess on your eyes. It's just going to be so easy. She tells you where to apply it if you really have no makeup background. A lot of people were offended by the fact that it says lash line and center of the eyelid and all this kind of stuff, but who really cares that much? Because I know when you're trying to say I'm going to use this shade or that shade, well, just point it out. Like, it's not that big of a deal, right? Like, there's worse things in life that are, you know, take a little bit more precedence than the fact that the eyeshadow color isn't exactly the name you wanted. So I don't know. I just felt like it was just a little bit much for people to get up in arms too much about that. I'm not trying to be offensive if you're one of those people who thought it was ridiculous, but it didn't bother me that much. I really didn't care that much. I just wanted it for the eyeshadows. Next we have the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, and I really like this one a lot. I do get a lot of really nice looks of this. For me, this is very spring and summer, and I thoroughly enjoy just the colors in here. I think they're just so pretty. You can definitely use some softer tones, some reds or some peaches and some yellows. It just gives a little more fire and a little more warmth to that look. So, and then she gives you a little bit of a cool tone purpley type color in here. Maybe like a more neutral purple, but really pretty. I think that this is such a nice palette. I highly recommend anything that's warm, because I mean, I love warm eyeshadows, but I do have blue eyes, so I think that's why I like the warm eyeshadows more. And then we have the Love palette, which is stunning. I mean, it's just so stunning. The only thing I think is, again, this deep color is like a shimmery, it looks more shimmery to me than matte. And let me see if I can, it's right here if you guys can see it. So to me, it's like, it's sort of like in between a matte and a satin, and I wish it was just a matte, like a super matte deep shade. But again, if you wanted to do a smoky eye and then use one of these other colors to like blend out your crease, you have a shimmer all over the lid. So I can't say that I'm offended by the palette, because I use shimmers in my outer corner of my crease all the time, but it would have been nice to have a deep outer corner shade. I just feel like that would have been really nice to have in the palette. That's my only concern, but other than that, I really love everything in this palette. And the last one of the midi size is the Retro palette. This is new from this year, and you can tell this is well loved. I have swatched this multiple times, and I've used this quite a few times. This one I probably use the most out of all of them. It does remind me a lot of the new Nude palette, but there's another palette that it reminds me of as well, and I will actually do a video duping those out, because there's a lot of eyeshadows in my collection that I can find some dupes for. So if you are not interested in buying the Natasha Denona Retro palette, maybe you already have a bunch of those similar eyeshadow colors in your collection, and so I will show you guys that one time, but this is definitely one of my very favorites from her for sure. Now we are on to the Melt eyeshadow palettes. The next one we have is the Smoke Sessions by Melt, and I truly love this, except for this Black Widow shade. Honestly, it's so dry and it just doesn't feel nice when you apply it. It gets hard panned like crazy. The rest of the formula seems okay, but I don't tend to gravitate toward this, but I definitely love this side, and I think I really need to utilize this palette a little bit more. And I really want to try and use this one called Granddaddy. I really want to try and use that a little more, because it's so pretty, and I don't think I've even used it once. But I don't wear a lot of golds, but at the same time I think it would look really nice. I'm sorry, I keep hitting the camera here, but paired with these. So something I'm gonna have to crack out in the future. And then we also have the Melt She's in Parties. Such a gorgeous eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna move these down. I think that's something that's distracting me. There we go. So it's such a beautiful palette. I have used this a couple of times, but definitely not nearly as much as I want to. It's so stunning. These eyeshadows are beautiful. They look so nice and so classy on the eye. Highly recommend this. I'm gonna swatch a couple of these. I'm gonna try not to like swatch everything, but oh my gosh. These are so beautiful. Like, just so beautiful. I really like their formula, but there's some that are just hit and miss, and it's just like, yeah. I also got the Vita palette. I was so lucky enough to get my hands on this, and I still have it in, of course, the container or the box, because I haven't used it yet, and I probably got it a month or two ago. But I really want the Muerte palette, and I really hope I can get my hands on it. So if any of you know anyone who is getting rid of theirs, please let me know. I would really appreciate it. But I definitely want to use this one very soon, but I wanted to wait until fall, and now it's like almost winter. So of course, like, I need to get this out. So I'm thinking maybe spring, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow palette. I'm not going to swatch anything because I haven't touched it yet, but this red and this like almost like peachy gold looking, just, oh, it's so beautiful. I just want to touch all of these right now. They're so pretty. Oh, anyways, I'm just like staring at this in awe. Like, it's just so gorgeous, and I want to like touch them so badly. The next one is the Mary Jane palette. This is another cool toned eyeshadow palette that I got recently, and I actually really like this one. I haven't come into contact so far with the eyeshadows that have mold or any puffing or anything, thankfully, and it just terrifies me that one day these things are going to do that. I think you can take also these eyeshadows out of their container as well. Like, you can take them out of this compartment and you can use them as individual eyeshadows, which I also love that Melt does that. I think every brand should do that because then everyone can create their own like version of eyeshadow palette. But this color right here, you guys, that is so beautiful. It reminds me of a color from MAC, which I'll show you shortly. But it's just so beautiful, and I need to start using this more. It's so pretty. But again, I gravitate more toward like the warm colors. So again, now we have 420, which is again beautiful and very fall-esque. Something that I am obsessed with. I love this. I have used this a couple times, but again, I just have so much eyeshadow that a lot of them get neglected. I use them a couple times a year and then I move on to the next one. So something that I really need to start focusing on. So that's why my 2022 eyeshadow projects are going to be like usage goals, so that I get usage out of all of them, not just like I buy them, I use them once, and then I move on. I want to actually get a lot of use out of my palette. So next year is going to be definitely using up the stuff that I have. So this is the 27 palette from Melt, and I believe I've had some viewers in the comments saying that 27 is one of their birthday days. So I love that. I know what 420 is. I think that's the day that like everyone like celebrates and not celebrates weed, but like, you know what I mean. Like, everyone smokes weed, everyone, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's the day that is like the weed day. And then this is the birthday. And I really love this. This is so beautiful. This would be like probably the nicest like neutral eyeshadow palette I think I have ever seen done. With the exception of this eyeshadow, it's just very like, it just doesn't belong kind of for me in this eyeshadow palette. It's just, excuse me. It's just a bit like soft and dull in comparison to, and I know this is more of a duller version, but they could have amped this up with like a really high shine shimmer or sparkle to go with the neutrals. I feel like that would have just made this. And then the only other like shimmer color is called Crime Fighter, and it looks like this. And this one again is like kind of dull. So the shimmers don't do it for me in here, but the mattified shadows do. Next one is the Recently Deceased from Melt with Beetlejuice, and I wish that they did more than just 2 eyeshadow palettes from Beetlejuice, because these were a freaking bomb. I love these so much. I hope I'm, yeah, here we go. I'm like, am I opening this right? But like, just having a still from the movie as the like little plastic part, like, people are actually going to keep this. I never keep these things. I try to throw them out all the time, but this I'm so keeping. Like, I would put this in a frame. It's so freaking nice. And then I wish they added 2 more eyeshadows to this, because I feel like there's just so much unused space on each side. I kind of wish that they put 2 more eyeshadows in here, and I wish one was like a mid-tone, like high shine lime green, like the color of the palette, and then another one could have just been like a really grungy looking purple, and I think that would have made this palette very, very complete. But honestly, I am absolutely not complaining. I love this palette so much, and I definitely need to get way more use of this. It's so beautiful. put this one in the back. This one is the Waiting Room with Beetlejuice from Melt, and this is my favorite one out of the entire collection. You guys know, if you know me, you know red is my very favorite color. When I got this, it was absolutely damaged so badly, and when I went to go reorder it so I could return this one, they didn't have any left. I can't even take this out, and I'm trying to be so careful. This still is amazing. I absolutely love this still, and I just think this is so bomb. This guy's contour on here, I love it. Very Halloween, but also very bomb. I love it. So you can see my 3 of these were like absolutely just crushed, and there's always like red remnants of the eyeshadows all over the place. It sucks. But this is such a good eyeshadow palette. I just wish I had one in good condition, because this is my very favorite eyeshadow palette probably in my entire collection. It's so beautiful, and I'm so sad that it was like broken or damaged. It doesn't stay up like the other one does. I feel like it's got some damage in the plasticky part, so it's probably not going to last me forever, and it just breaks my heart. But I really love this, and I wish that again that they made more than just the 2, because this is such a bomb collection. Probably my favorite of any eyeshadow collection, and also the Vida and Muerte palettes. Like, they make the best collections for sure. And now we're on to Pat McGrath. I don't have a lot of Pat McGrath. I really think that the eyeshadows are very fun and very beautiful, but unfortunately it's quite a bit out of my price range. So I try to get what I can, because you guys can see I love makeup and I want to buy things, but there's nothing in my mind that tells me that I can afford to buy one eyeshadow palette for like $200 Canadian. It's like $170 before taxes, so it's gonna be like $230 or something like that after taxes, and I just can't. Maybe not that high, but you know. Anyway, I got this one, and I got it at 50% off, and this is the Mothership eyeshadow palette, Pat McGrath Labs Mothership eyeshadow palette. Does it have a name? Mothership Rose Decadence. I don't love this. I kind of wish I didn't buy it again, because it's so basic and boring. When I first got it, there was one shade that just really looked so beautiful, but I felt like crap. I couldn't. This was $80 regular price, and I think I got it for like $46 or $50, something like that. And I thought like I could do it, but I returned it because I just couldn't. They're not that amazing for that value. Like, it just didn't like strike me as amazing to the point where I would put that much money out for this. So when I saw it on like half off almost, I had to get it, but now I'm kind of disappointed that I did. And then I also have the eyeshadow palette from last year. This one I haven't even used yet, honestly. Like, I don't know why I'm saving these things. These are the ones that I'm like, I can't use them because they're so beautiful, and I truly love the colors of every single eyeshadow in here. You guys know the purples, the mauve, like this one right here is so stunning. This red, this maroon kind of like raspberry shade, like all these shimmery, oh, I think I swatched this one once. That was it. I don't think I've really swatched many other ones, maybe that one. So I can't take this off. Like, I can't take the box part off until I actually use it. But I'm so happy that I have this, and I need to just bust out these eyeshadow palettes like ASAP, because they're just stunning. And then the last one I have is I don't even know what it's called, but it's this year's holiday palette, and it's called the Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey. I love this packaging. It's just so beautiful. I kind of wish like all of her regular line had palettes that looked like this instead of just straight up black and shiny. I find that so boring, and this is just so beautiful. So it's very bulky. It's much bigger than last year's. I don't know that you get the same amount or more of eyeshadows. I haven't checked, but it's pretty. And what is that on this blue? Do you guys see these bumpies on the blue eyeshadow? I don't know if you can even see that, but there's like little bumpies on there. It's very weird. I haven't swatched this yet. I'm thinking maybe it was just the way that it was pressed. I hope it's not like gone bad or anything, but it feels like bumpy. Very strange, but I really wanted to get this. Again, it's got these beautiful rose colored eyeshadows in here, and I really think I'm gonna like everything in this eyeshadow palette. It's not the most amazing eyeshadow formula, like her regular line has all those wonderful shades that are very different from anything else you get in her like holiday or whatever. If you buy the 4 pans or the, I think it's 8 or 10, is it 8 or 10 eyeshadows in her regular eyeshadow palettes, but I don't pay enough attention because I know I'm just going to want it, and I don't have the money to fork out for eyeshadow palettes like that. I have to draw the line somewhere, and unfortunately it's like the Natasha Denona larger palettes and the regular line of Pat McGrath. I can't mentally allow myself to purchase those. It's just way too costly, and I would only have like 10 eyeshadow palettes in my whole collection if I bought those. So now we're going to move on to the next drawer. Before I get into everything else that's in here, I'm going to show you guys this one, which is mega huge. I'm going to like pull back the video camera because, or the camera, because I want you guys to just see this is one of my eyeshadow palettes, but I do have some eyeshadows missing. These are mostly Give Me Glow eyeshadows. There's like all of the, from here 4th row up are all Give Me Glow. Most of these are JD Glow. I have this Vanny Cosmetics and then these MAC eyeshadows. And this is the one that I said looked like that other eyeshadow right here. But this one's just a little bit more purple. But this one reminds me a lot of this one. First, oops, you guys can't even see. So this is the eyeshadow from MAC right here. And it reminds me a lot of this one right here. And it's not the same like tone, like it's not the same shade. But the actual texture, the actual look of the shadows are very similar to me, and I really, really love those. So that was the one I was talking about. Actually, this one might match it a little bit better. No, maybe not. But I really love these eyeshadows, honestly. Like, I'm so happy to have all of these, and I need to use them more because they're so stunning. But this is like why I don't need to buy much more eyeshadows, because I just have so much already. I just really want the Muerte and the gold palette from Natasha Denona because I really want that so bad. So this drawer is all of my littler and single eyeshadow indie brand stuff. So anything that's like pre-made, anything that's single eyeshadows, all of these are in here, and pretty much all belong to like the indie brand kind of genre. So we'll start at the back because it's a little harder to get to. This one is all of my Shine by SD Cosmetics eyeshadows. Again, some of these are going to be missing because they are in another eyeshadow palette, which is my Halloween eyeshadow palette that I made, and I'm still using it in one of my other projects. So some of those are missing, but these are absolutely hands down my favorite indie brand eyeshadows by far. I love them so much, and you guys should definitely check them out. Then I have a couple of unopened ones. These are also Give Me Glow, and this one is the Pastel Dreams. I haven't used this one obviously because it has the outer box on it, but I have swatched a couple of them, but they're absolutely freaking stunning. Sorry about all the shading. I do have a lot of lighting going on. Let me see if I can fix that a little bit. It's a little better. I absolutely love these so much. The thing is, these already contain a primer in them, so you shouldn't really need to put a primer base on. They have enough primer in them, but I am a creature of habit, so I definitely always add primer on before I put my eyeshadow base on, and I think that tends to make them crease because then there's just far too much cream. But yeah, this is just so stunning, and I'm really glad I have my hands on this one. The next one is the Summer Vibes. And it's just like such a beautiful looking palette. It's so stunning. This one is more like, for me, fall vibes or summer vibes. Not even so much fall, maybe just summer. It says summer vibes right on it, but I guess I would use this in the fall as well, just because it does have like the oranges, like the deep orange, the light orange, the browns, the coppers. So I would probably use this in fall as well. But when you add in that really nice raspberry looking shade with the mint shades and stuff and the yellow, it just brings summer like all together. But I highly recommend their formula. I really like these shadows. Here we have a couple of Clionadh Cosmetics eyeshadow singles palettes, and these are the majority of my multi-chrome. I don't even know all the names of these honestly, but they're like the really special fun ones, and I love them so very much. I'll just swatch a couple of these. If you don't know Clionadh Cosmetics, I highly recommend you check them out. Their eyeshadows are so beautiful. They're a Canadian-based company, and they just have such a gorgeous variety. They are a little bit more expensive because, of course, you're getting these really fantastic, very special eyeshadow shades, so I'm okay putting a little bit of extra money out for those, especially because I can create my own palettes. I'm sorry I'm not doing these justice right now, but my lighting situation is like not the greatest, but those are Clionadh. These are also some Clionadh eyeshadows. Let's see. These are also some Clionadh eyeshadows. Again, I have a lot of these singles in that other eyeshadow palette, so you're probably not going to see them all in here, but I will show you them when I get that other eyeshadow out. But look at this. Like, look at how gorgeous that is. That's so stunning. Like, and these are not even their multi-chromes. I think these ones are just duochromes. These are so beautiful. I highly recommend these. This is one of my very favorite eyeshadow palettes in my entire collection. It's the Glamlight Ice Cream Dream palette, and it is so beautiful. And I love the fact that it just opens up and it's not in the shape of an actual ice cream, but it does have an ice cream on the front because they're so good for detail with their packaging. These are just the most perfect spring and summer shades ever. Like, this is the best curated palette I've ever seen for summer. Like, it's so beautiful, and you have some depth, you have a lot of pastel, there's so much shimmer and so much texture and so much vibrancy in this palette. This just speaks to me. So this is my favorite, I think, eyeshadow palette pre-made in my entire collection. Love it so much. I also have the Glamlight Cake palette. It opens up and it is in the shape of a cake, but it's not too hard to store, which is nice. It's just a really nice array of like more, I want to say like rainbow shades, but also like almost jewel tone shades. They're not super bright. Well, this one is really bright, but they're not like pastel-y. They're like very neutral, mid-tone based. And what I like about them, I keep saying neutral, they're very like mid-tone based, and so they're not too vibrant, they're not too like blinding in your face, but they give you a lot of impact and a lot of pigmentation. Like, they are no joke. These eyeshadows from Glamlight are no joke. If you want a brand that is going to give you fun and color and texture, like, this is the brand. Highly recommend these eyeshadows. So now we're going to move up to the front area here, and this one is Makeup a Murder. I have the sleeve on it, but I have used it quite a few times. It's just that I guess I want to keep the sleeve. I don't know, but this is like a really awesome eyeshadow palette. I really love this. It's really nice for Valentine's Day and any kind of like wintry look or romantic look. It's just so beautiful. I'll swatch a couple of these shades, but I absolutely love the fact that there's little skulls on there. I just love that so much. So there's one of the shades. Then I'll swatch this like purpley one here. Oh my gosh, you guys, so pretty. I know my like swatches don't really do things justice, especially because I don't have as much lighting here as I would really like, but definitely check them out. I know you will not be sorry. Like, I'll get to some other ones that you may not love as much, but definitely this one is such a good eyeshadow palette from Makeup a Murder. I highly recommend it if they still have this on their website. I have the Adept Plain Jane palette. I really like this one. What I love is this is just like that companion palette that you can take any kind of neutral eyeshadow palette and just make it way better by adding these in. They're really beautiful. They have that gelée texture to them, so you know you're gonna get high shine, high pigmentation. At the same time, you have to be, I think, kind of a little bit more careful, because if you're applying with a brush, you're just gonna move the product around and not pick up as much. So make sure you're using a brush that is dedicated for cream products, or use your fingers. You're gonna get the best payoff with your fingers. This one is the Ninhydrin from Adept, and I love this one as well. It's so pretty. I don't know why I still have that. The only thing I would switch out would be the two like neutral shades because I just feel like they're so grungy for the beautiful purples and greens and peach tones that are in this palette. Then you're just getting this like deep grungy green and this like deep, whatever this is, purpley gray tone, like kind of purpley slate gray. And in all honesty, like it doesn't really go, like the purple slate is a little bit more accepting when you pair it with these ones, but I don't get the grungy green brown. It doesn't do much for me, but that's fine. Like I have other use for those, so not a big deal. And then this is the Vivid Rose Give Me Glow eyeshadow palette. Very beautiful. Again, Give Me Glow, you guys. Like, don't sleep on these eyeshadows. Look at the beautiful shades in here. They're so stunning. They have really good pigmentation. But again, just be careful. If you're using a primer first, you're going to probably get creasing because these already have primer base in them. Even the mattes. Yes, that's right. Even the mattes. This is the Christmas Morning eyeshadow palette from Give Me Glow. Again, something I haven't used, but something I'll crack out in December. It's so beautiful. I got this because I saw Katarina from Katarina's Vanity. She had this and she said she loved it. And when I saw her open her palette up, these metallic shades, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. I need to get that. I need to buy that like right now. So I went and I bought it and it's just so good. It often goes out of stock, but hopefully they have it right now, especially with the Christmas season coming up. But do not sleep on this eyeshadow palette, you guys. It's so beautiful. Then we have the Club Nebula with Angelica Nyquist. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, I'm so sorry, but this is with Kaleidos. And I am so thrilled to have this eyeshadow palette in my collection. This is probably one of the most perfect looking eyeshadow palettes I think I've ever seen. Those deep jewel tone shades are so beautiful. I really like the shimmery sparkly ones, but like, I don't know, like all of those deep, like all of these deep eyeshadow shades, and then it's like pop of lime green. Oh my gosh, like I absolutely love this. She did a really good job curating this palette. It's beautiful. Then I have my Glamlight, I think this is the Red Velvet Cake palette. I haven't even used this yet, but oh no, I did use it once. Only once. And this is like a red and purple palette. I was expecting a lot more red and a lot more like pinky shades, or even some like purpley red tone browns, but there's like there's not that much in here. I was like one red out of a Red Velvet Cake palette, so I wasn't like that impressed with the way that it looks. But at the same time, if you take away the name Red Velvet, like it's a beautiful palette. It doesn't show me red velvet here, but when you just look at the palette and look at the colors and the curation of this, it's beautiful. Like these eyeshadows are stunning. Then I have the Break the Rules palette with It's Belle Cosmetics, and oh, so beautiful. You guys, these are so beautiful. I want the rest of them and they're really inexpensive, but at the same time, like I said, I bought so much and I need to start using what I have so that I don't overlap on too many shades, because some of these I do have in other eyeshadow palettes and I just need to like tone it down and start using what I have instead of trying to have everything. Then it's no more, like it's not as fun and special if I have like a billion of everything. This is the other Makeup a Murder Crime Scene. It says Crime Scene Trace Evidence Eyeshadow Palette Volume 1 Paint Chips. It's a very, very long and wordy name, but I love that the fact that it looks like a crime scene, like crime scene tape or whatever. And it looks like this inside. Did I need to buy this? No, but it came as a kit, I believe, like with a couple of other different things, like an eyeliner and some eye tape for your eyeshadows. This formula is not the best. You definitely need some kind of a primer base when you're using these. It definitely would give you the payoff if you had some kind of like primer base underneath it. But the swatches that I've done compared to, like, say for example Glamlight, it's not as wowing to me, but still a great palette to have. And hello, it looks like crime scene tape, so of course I love it. I love the true crime genre. I don't like the acts that people are committing. Don't get me wrong, like don't get me twisted there please, but I like the whole aesthetic of like the, you know, the history of it and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm not a freak, don't worry. Alien Cosmetics Hauntingly Glamorous Eyeshadow Palette. This is the Hauntingly Glamorous eyeshadow palette from Alien Cosmetics. It is absolutely beautiful. It's relatively new to me. I only just received it recently because I got it as a Christmas present. Of course, I ordered this and then my in-laws got it for me, so they just like paid me back for it. So this is considered one of my Christmas presents, which is so amazing. Also, the Pat McGrath, that one is also considered a Christmas present for this year as well. So I have a couple of things early. And this is what it looks like inside. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? It does remind me a lot. Let's see if I can just cover the mirror here. It does remind me a lot of this one similarly. So you can see that there's like the deep teal shade. There's like that deep like purpley, this one's like purpley blue, almost like a navy kind of, but this one's like more purple. There's this like grayish purple like between those two. There's the red, but there's no light red. There's a couple of light, like these ones kind of look similar. There's like a shimmery green, which is similar to this, is like a matte green, but this is like kind of like a, it looks like a matte with like some sparkle in it. So there are some huge similarities, but it's not identical because you do get a couple of different shades. This one also looks similar. It's missing those really shimmery shades, except for those two. You do get those two. But what I love about this is the color story is so beautiful. It's very similar to this, but you get a blending shade for the greens and teals and a blending shade for the purples. And of course, I love reds. You guys know, like, I just absolutely love reds. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I am obsessed with reds eyeshadows. So this is the Alien Cosmetics Hauntingly Glamorous eyeshadow palette. This is my very first eyeshadow palette with Alien Cosmetics that I've ever tried. So I'm excited to get my fingers in there, but I haven't touched it yet. So it is in its primary packaging, like the packaging that I bought it in. Next are just my singles, so I'm just going to go through those really quickly. I consider these palettes as well in my collection. These are all my Inglot. These are my Buxom. These are my Adept singles. These are, I believe, Terra Moons. Nope, JD Glow. I always say Terra Moons. These are JD Glow, and these ones are the Kat Von D. I can't remember what it's called now. It's that little triangle palette that's all awkward, and this is a ColourPop eyeshadow palette. This one's kind of like a mishmash. This is my Terra Moons. All the like greens and blues and like bronzy colors are all in this eyeshadow palette. These are all my Makeup Geek. Not all, but these are like the foiled ones, and no, these are the foiled ones. These are the duochrome ones, and then there's some regular line eyeshadows on the bottom, and this one's just a Buxom single that I depotted. This is Terra Moon eyeshadow singles in like purples, reds, anything that's like the girlier shades, if you want to call them that, but like the purples, the pinks, the reds, the corals, all that kind of stuff in here. And the last singles is my other Makeup Geek eyeshadow, and of course the ones that are missing out of all of those I'll show you guys later when we go through my other palette. Now let's go on to the next drawer. This is the last drawer in my nine drawer Alex units. It's the most cluttered, I feel like. It just looks like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. This is going to take a long time, so let's just get right into it. I'll start at the back. This is the Caliente Artist Couture eyeshadow palette. I absolutely adore this so much. I do get quite a bit of use out of this, but I have so many eyeshadows that I don't use it as much as I would like, but I really do enjoy this a lot. This is better. So here are my Urban Decay eyeshadows. This is the Naked 2. Everyone knows what that's about. I'm thinking I'm going to declutter that because I think I've had that since like 2013. This is the Naked 3. So beautiful. One of my very favorites. I've had this one for a very long time as well. One of the more newer-ish ones. This is the Urban Decay Naked Heat. I'm not in love with the Urban Decay line lately. I have quite a few palettes because, you know, a long time ago they were like the brand that started off individual palettes, and the Naked line was like the hugest hit, and then everyone just started doing palettes. I do like this one as well a lot. I think the Naked 3 and the Naked Cherry go along really well together. I think they complement each other well. And of course the Heat is also a warm palette, so I had to have that one as well, but I've never ever used them. This is the Urban Decay Electric palette. It's a staple in my collection. I will probably never get rid of this, even if it gets old. I don't love it anymore compared to some of the other eyeshadows that are out there, but I just can't part with it. I still use it. This is Urban Decay Moon Dust. I will say that this is one of those eyeshadows that is sort of like a game changer in the eyeshadow world, and MAC also made Dazzle shadows that are similar to this. So I feel like if you're looking for something that was more mainstream brand like MAC or Urban Decay, these were the eyeshadows that sort of like made them. Like, these are so amazing. These, like, the formula of these is ridiculously amazing. It's got so much texture and shine. There's just no duochrome or anything, but they're more like really, really sparkly. Then we have, if I can get them out here, some more Moon Dust eyeshadows that I had depotted. This is the old school way that they do the singles. And this is also from their Great and Powerful Oz collection or collab. I depotted one or two of these from the other palette, and I sold the other palette, and I just like the browns and the golds and stuff like that, so I kept those. And let's see, I'll take these out too. This is my Lorac Gold eyeshadow palette. I barely ever use that. This is the Patrick Star One Size eyeshadow palette. I really do like this. I need to get some more use out of this. I just wish there was a cream shade in there. That would have made that palette like so bomb. I love it. And then there's the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Semi-Sweet. I got rid of the original one because it was just too old and I didn't enjoy it. This is the Chocolate Bonbons eyeshadow palette. Again, I don't really use these anymore because times have changed and there's so much out now that I use the newer stuff. This is the Sweet Peach. And it just looks bland to me now when I look at my other eyeshadow palettes. These ones just look so much more bland. This is the Revolution and Tammy X Revolution and the Tropical Carnival eyeshadow palette. I really do like this one actually for drugstore quality. I think it's really, really good. Again, it's not my absolute favorite, but it's not too bad for drugstore quality. Revolution. This is the Forever Flawless Constellation eyeshadow palette. I rarely use them, but I wanted to have like some drugstore items. And then this is the Unconditional Love of the Forever Flawless collection. I thought that was a really nice eyeshadow palette. Just pretty standard looking eyeshadow palette. So that's the eyeshadows in the back. The next one is the Stila Eyes Are the Window. This is the Soul palette. This is so beautiful. This is another one of those more cool toned looking eyeshadow palettes, but it's just got like this beautiful color story that I just don't know why I don't use this more often, and they are just amazing quality. I love this so much. Then this is another Eyes Are the Window, but this is the Mind palette. So this was an all matte eyeshadow palette, which I definitely love. You have every single real like crease shade or deepening shade that you'd need. So this is a perfect companion palette as well. I have a couple of Morphe eyeshadow palettes here. These are the 9 pan. This is the 9C palette. I love this color story. I think it's so beautiful, and they have these like really fun, like kind of highlighty, shimmery looking shades in there, which are really awesome. And this one's the 9H, which is the hot one. Again, really, really pretty. And then some ColourPop eyeshadows, which is my first little order of ColourPop, and I don't know how often I would ever order from there, but I definitely wanted to try their products out. So this is Wine and Only. Really pretty. I thought the pan sizes were kind of tiny, but I mean, for what you're paying, it's not too bad. This is High Tide. I haven't used this one yet, so I've only swatched like 1 or 2 eyeshadows out of here, but I wanted this because I also wanted that Sweet Oasis from Morphe, and I just thought the palette size was too huge, and I figured I had like all the pinks and purpley shades, so then I just got this to be like the bluer part, the teal part of that palette. And then I also got Cherry Crush, which is of course, like you guys know, it's reds and purples. I'm gonna buy it. I love my reds and purples for eyeshadows. I can't even get enough. And then we have our little 9 pan palettes from ABH Norvina. This is the volume 1 and this is the volume 3. Really like those a lot actually. I thought they didn't get enough hype. This is the Neon Huda I really like this one. This is the more orangey one, and this is the more pink one. I love wearing these in summer. This is so ridiculously beautiful. I just love those. And then I haven't used these much. This is the medium from the Nude Medium 9 pans. I don't even think I've even used this once. Like, I don't even know. I don't recall using it. This is the rich one. Very beautiful. I have used that. I love these and I need to get more use. This is the, what even is, oh, Viseart. Gosh. Viseart Petite Pro palette. And it looks like that. I don't really like this palette that much. It's not that good. I'm not enjoying the quality of it, to be completely honest. And this is the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions. I haven't used this one yet either, just swatched it. I wish I had the green one, like the emerald one. I really, really, really wish I got that one, honestly. And I'm so sad I didn't pick it up. This is the ruby one. It's red. You guys know I'm gonna love it. It's so good. I love the color story. It's very pretty and different compared to what you see out there. I believe this is Topaz. The Topaz Obsessions. Very pretty, but again, it's like just a nice, easy color story to take with you if you go traveling or something. It's such a nice palette. I also have the Coral Obsessions. You guys know it's coral. I'm gonna love it. And then, oh, this is the other one here. This is the Electric Obsessions. I get a lot of use out of this in the summer as well. This is a nice curated rainbow palette. I feel like if someone needed color but they didn't want to have a whole bunch of stuff, this is like the perfect size. Like, what more do you need, right? And then I have the Mauve Obsessions or Mauve Obsessions. I call it mauve. I know a lot of people call it mauve, but I call it mauve, and I love this. It's very pretty. And then these are the MAC 9 pans. This is the Semi-Sweet. This one is the Red Hot ×9. I like this one a lot. And then this one's my Self-Made Quad. I use this. This is like everything I would need if I didn't have it in another palette. Like a deepening shade, crease shade, brow bone shade, and then a highlighting shade. Everything you need here. So this is the Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. I really like these, but I don't think you can take the eyeshadows out. And I think that's something that I would prefer, is if these were removable so that you could utilize them in a palette that you want to make on your own. I also have the Cranberry palette, which is broken, so I have to be very careful. It came to me very, very damaged, and they credited me. There was a bunch of hair and stuff like on the back of it. I had to spray it and wipe it all down. It was disgusting. I'm going to remove these from the eyeshadow palette, but I'm just waiting to see if I can even get the gold palette. I know it's available, but I'm really trying not to spend money, but I really want it. But anyway, and they also sent me this eyeshadow palette 5, which is a 5-pan palette. I think it's palette number 02. This is gonna break too. You can totally hear that these are like the crappiest quality. You can just hear that it's like ready to break. But this is what the palette looks like. It's very, very basic. I didn't even know that these palettes existed, to be honest. So when I got it, it was supposed to be the Coral palette, and this was inside the Coral palette box that was damaged. So I could tell that either they kept returns and they keep sending me crap. I'm not even going to go into it right now because you guys probably seen me rant already about it, but they sent me I reordered the Coral palette and then they credited me for the first 2, and I was not going to reorder because I reordered this one because look at how beautiful this eyeshadow palette is. Like it's even more beautiful in person than I thought it was going to be, honestly. And I haven't swatched it yet. I don't have boxes for the other 2, but they are untouched right now. I wanted to spray them with isopropyl alcohol and leave them for a little while before I would even consider touching them. And then this one is just so beautiful, like absolutely stunning. But I would like to put all of those in a singles palette down the road. I just want to decide what I want to do first before I remove them from their containers. Then I have the e.l.f. Everyday Smoky palette. This is the only e.l.f. eyeshadow palette that I have, and it's actually incredibly good. Much better than I ever remember e.l.f. formula being, and it's really, really nice, cool toned eyeshadow palette. I really recommend their formula, and it's very inexpensive. I even got this on sale, so it was under $10. And then I have my MAC eyeshadow palettes. This first one is Power Hungry, which looks like this. It comes with a full highlighter in it, but I never remember that the highlighters are in there, so I like never use those. And I was considering selling some of these, but I don't know what I want to do yet. I just never use them. And then this is the Mischief Minx, and I taped the thing onto the mirror so I could remember the names. But I've used this one like a couple times, and this one was okay. I like it because it's more warm tone. And then this one's Basic Bitch, and pardon my French, but it's called Basic Bitch. And again, I taped the thing on the top. And what I like about this is it's a nice cool toned eyeshadow palette. It's a little more glam eyeshadow palette, and it's got those really fun like shimmery eyeshadows in here, which are very, very beautiful. Just so gorgeous and give that like dimension that I'm always looking for. So really, really like that one. And then this one is from the holiday, I think 2019, 2018, something like that. This is such a nice eyeshadow palette. I love this. One year I'll probably pan it in the future, but I just love it so much right now that of course I'm like that person that I buy it and I love it and I have it, so I don't use it because I know I have it and it's beautiful, which is the most stupidest thing to do. Like, I buy makeup so that I can use it, but because it's so wonderful, I want to make sure I keep it and so that I have it. I'm that dummy. And then these are my Saint eyeshadows, and I used to sell this, but I no longer sell it anymore. So these are some of the eyeshadows in here. These are just disregard these. These are like, of course, like older and just like my own made blushes kind of thing, or like blushes that I got from my upline, but I don't sell it anymore. So I have those eyeshadows. And then, oops, I'm gonna turn this around. And then I also have these ones, which is full, which is so beautiful. These are really, really pretty eyeshadows. They are so nice. These shimmers are really, really pretty. This is like a more satin than an shimmer, and it's got like the glitter in there. And then I'll show you this one. Very, very pretty eyeshadows. They really have like gorgeous, gorgeous eyeshadows, but I just have so much that it was getting overwhelming for me to try to sell it and also do YouTube and also do Instagram and also be a mom and a wife and all that other stuff. It was just so much. So I had to like pick something, and I had to let go of Saint. So that's everything in this drawer. We can now move on to the last and final drawer. So this is my last and final eyeshadow drawer, and it is stacked full. It's going to be so hard to get everything back in here. I'll start with these. These are my least favorite currently. This is the Violet Voss Pro Hashtag palette, and it looks like this. It's just okay. It has, what I bought this for was because I like the top. Like, it has the brow bone shade, the crease shades, the outer corner shades, and then you have every kind of like color that's warm and stuff. Oh, I totally just dug my nail right in there. Oh my gosh. That's okay though. To me, that's the prettiest shade too. Let me just see if I can swatch that for you guys. I just feel like the formula is not the greatest, and I probably have that 10 times over in my collection. So this was something that I was considering decluttering and selling. I also have the Flamingo palette by Violet Voss, and I loved this. The color story was just phenomenal, but when I used it, I felt like the eyeshadows kind of like faded away into nothingness. And I really bought this because I loved these teal shades, this coral shade, and this like surf shade looked super cool to me. It looked very intriguing. It was like that gold slash greeny teal kind of thing, or like turquoise. And I already have something like that in another area of my collection, so I'm not sure if I'm going to hang on to this one either. It's not really something that I need, but I loved the color story. I just thought this was such a nice color story, but it's just, I don't know, we'll see. And then this is my other and final ColourPop eyeshadow palette. It's Fade into Hue, and I absolutely love the fact that this is just a giant rainbow palette. And it's like not even giant like in the sense of it's big. It's just every single thing in here is a beautiful color of the rainbow, and I'm just so here for this. Don't love the pressed glitters, but I have used them and they're kind of nice. But again, I would prefer not to have any pressed glitters if possible, but I'm not offended by the fact. And then I have these two from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, which is so good. This is the Surge one. You guys need this. I'm telling you, you need this. I'm trying to do this so you can see. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna zoom back. Okay. So this is the Surge palette, and it is absolutely beautiful. You have neons, you have like pastel crease shades, you have like deeper jewel tone shades, you have outer corner shades, you have beautiful like shimmery metallic shades, and these are very, very similar to Adept Cosmetics and Glamlight. Like, look at that. So good. So good. I love this, and I would definitely support her. And she's also got like this crazy massive skill level. Like, her makeup level is like bar none. So good. Definitely love this one. This one's the Blends palette. And of course, this is everything that you can blend together to get your perfect eyeshadow look, and it's all matte. Absolutely worth it to have this in your collection. Highly recommend this. And then in the back here we have the Be Perfect Carnival, the Antidote palette. It's too big to get on screen probably, but let's try. So this is what it looks like. It's the fall palette, and I love it, and I should be pulling this out right now, but I don't know. I have like so many things in my collection that I'm using in projects, but I definitely want to pull this guy out. It's so beautiful. And we have the Michaela palette with Glamlight. I apologize for the reflection, but it is just so pretty. You guys know this has been everywhere in Instagram and probably TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but I'm sure you guys have seen this a million times over, and it's so pretty. But the Ice Cream Dream is my favorite for sure. And then I have these two palettes back here, which are also Glamlight. I have a lot of Glamlight items. This is the Paint Pro 2 eyeshadow palette. It's beautiful. It's a minier version of the Paint Pro one, which is just below it. And it's got like a shade off from everything that's in the first one. Like, you can see the first one is very like primary colors kind of deal, and secondary colors and tertiary colors. I guess these would be more tertiary colors maybe, but they're also like blends of the other colors put together, and then a few more like really, really beautiful shimmer shades like in the center area. And again, this one is like bleeding. I guess it has that jelly or whatever consistency, and so you like tend to see the discoloration and marking on the packaging from Glamlight, especially their older collections. So I think they must have changed that or whatever, but yeah, this one doesn't have that. It's really nice, and I love the fact that it has on the bottom row like this from the red, the burgundy, the brown, the black. Beautiful. And this green, you guys, so beautiful. That's like Christmas all over my eyes. I can't wait. So this is really nice. I like that, and I got those both. I think they were like $69 for the two of them on the Glamlight website. And then I'll show you these in the back. This one is the Morphe 39S, such a gem. I can't even open this. So this is the purple, such a gem palette. Absolutely beautiful. This is so, so gorgeous. I love the fact that there's like these beautiful fall, like more burgundy-ish shades over here, and then like summer, spring kind of over here. Oh, just so beautiful. I love that palette so much. I need to pull that out. And this is the James Charles palette. Not a fan of that person, but I definitely love the cohesiveness of this palette. Again, a very huge rainbow palette. This is probably something down the road that I might declutter, but for now I'm keeping it because I put the money out already. So me throwing it out would be like me losing money twice. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use what I have, but I'm never ever going to buy anything with that name on it ever again. And then this is the Morphe, what is this called? 39A. And it's just like exactly what you would need for fall. There are far too many deep browns in here for my liking. Like, all of these are pretty much the same eyeshadow color. But you do get your blockings, like your browns, your reds, your greens, and then your like blues and whatever those are, like brownish. Oh, I don't even know. They look brown. Let's see. Yeah, that's just a standard shimmery brown. So that's all the ones in the back. I'll go through the more like front ones here. So these are all the Norvina. Actually, I'll just start here. It goes backwards. But this is the number 5 ABH. So ABH Norvina Collection Volume 5. Very, very beautiful. This is the ABH and Norvina Collection Volume 4. like stunning, like legit the best color story. Like some of these are so gorgeous. This is the number 3. This is probably my most used, and I'm pretty sure a collective favorite among the beauty community. It's like who doesn't love this? It looks like a safari. Like I love it. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. I don't know where that safari comment came from, but like, you know, I'm excited. I'm bringing words in. This is the ABH collection volume number 2. I just recently got this not long ago, and I've only used it a couple times, but I figured I would just get the whole collection. This one was like half price, so I couldn't pass it up. And this is the volume 1. This is really pretty too. It's just a little bit off for the color story for me. It's just a little bit off. I don't know. It's just, there's something about it that's beautiful, but at the same time, I don't know. And then this is the Tartist Pro from Tarte, and this is so beautiful. Like, I apologize for all the glare. Hello. I really apologize for the glare, but this is such a gorgeous palette, and I definitely get some absolutely beautiful, stunning looks from that. And then this is the Vice, I want to say 4. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I know you will. But I think this is number 4, if I'm not mistaken. This is the 2. And I think this is volume 3, or this is volume 4 and the other one. I don't know. They stopped putting the numbers on them. They just say Vice. But yeah, haven't used those in a very, very long time. I can't even remember like what the consistency is like. This is the Sephora Pro Editorial Pro Pigment Palette. And again, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous rainbow palette. The first one I ordered from Sephora came completely shattered. It was absolutely heartbreaking and crushing, and I had to return it and reorder. But some of these eyeshadows are just gorgeous, and some of them are the shits. I'm not even kidding. Like, I think it's the, like this area, terrible, just terrible. But, you know, I wanted to try it out, and this one was 50% off. So I try to get stuff on a good deal. This is my Lorac Pro Mega, what is this, 1, I think? Mega Pro 1. And I have it, but do I love it? No. And then the rest is pretty much Morphe except for one. This is the Live With Love. I just got this year. I don't think I've even used it, but I took the packaging off because it just couldn't fit everything in here. It's getting too stiff in here. And then this one is the Be Perfect Carnival Love Tahiti and Stacey Marie. Absolutely beautiful. Just, it just, when I look at eyeshadows, it just makes me so happy. Oh, I have to put this way because of the way the other ones fit. Okay. I'm almost done here, you guys. I still have a few on my desk, but this is the Morphe 35H Hotspot eyeshadow palette. And I really like this, but it's not, it's kind of like the Sweet Oasis, but a little more red than purple. But it still has the teals and then a gold, a couple of golds. Oh, and grays, actually. So this is a little more well-rounded, I think. But I still think about that Sweet Oasis palette. This is the 35M. I think that's like Boss Mood or something. Looks like this. Very, very beautiful for fall. Absolutely stunning, stunning quality, stunning palette. You guys, I'm losing my mind here. And then this one is the 35C Everyday Chic. That is a stunning palette too. This would be very nice for the winter seasons, any kind of winter months into like, I always want to say Halloween because every month should be Halloween, but this should be nice for like Valentine's Day. I think this would be so beautiful for Valentine's Day. Then this is the 35i, the Iced Fantasy palette. This is all pastels, with the exception of a couple of like pressed pigments and some deeper like outer corner shades. Very beautiful. It doesn't have the pigmentation I thought it was going to, honestly, so I don't recommend it. This is the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2. I don't have the Volume 1, but the Volume 2 spoke to me. You guys see all those reds and pinks and purples in there. You know this is my jam. Then we have a 3503 Fierce by Nature. Again, reds, purples, oranges. You guys know I had to buy this. It's so beautiful. And then some greens in there. I think that's really beautiful. Like, such a nice color story. And then this is the Nikita palette with Morphe. I had to have this. It just had like a rainbow palette with like all the crease shades and brow bone shades and everything in here. And I thought for traveling and stuff, this has everything you need. So I just thought for that sake, I would buy it. Not like I don't have enough to travel with. And then this is the 35XO. This one is so stunning. It's very resemblant to the new nude palette from Huda. In fact, it's so identical. You can pretty much get most shades almost bang on. Of course, the texture is going to be a little different in the quality, but essentially it's like the same thing. You wouldn't even be able to tell the difference if you place them both on your eye. Alright, so we are going to go over the stuff on my desk. I have a lot of things everywhere, so we'll just start with this one because it's easiest. This is my singles eyeshadow palettes. You guys saw all my other singles eyeshadow palettes just not long ago. These are the ones that are missing from the other palettes because these are like the ones that I put as a Halloween inspired eyeshadow palette, and I freaking love this. I use this so much. I used it for the entire month of October, and I could not have been more pleased with the looks that I came out with using these eyeshadows. So very, very pleased with these. The top drawer here we have the Too Faced and Vegas Nay Stardust eyeshadow palette. This is an oldie but a goodie. I'm pretty sure this is from like 2012, 2013. This is so old, but I'm planning on hopefully panning this next year or hitting pan, whatever I can do, and then I think this is gone because it is so old. This is the Perception palette with Midas Cosmetics and the Basic Bee, and honestly it's okay, but it's not like my most favorite quality ever, but the color story in this is ridiculously good, and I love the fact that you have pretty much everything you need. It's so fun, but again, some of the eyeshadows just don't have that payoff that I'm looking for. And then this is the Morphe and Maddie Ziegler palette. I got this on, again, 50% off or whatever deal they had on. It's really beautiful, and honestly I've liked every single look that I have done using this. I've mostly used the neutral palette or the neutral colors. Oh, sorry if you can hear my kids slamming things. So I really do enjoy this palette a lot. And then this is my MAC Botanic Panic eyeshadow palette. Hopefully this isn't too dark. I have like so many lights happening here, and for some reason it just looks dingy. Let's see if I can, I don't know what's going on here, but anyhow, I want to do this a little quicker. So this is what the inside looks like. I have some of these eyeshadows already in my collection, but there's some that I don't, and I really wanted to get this because I thought it was so beautiful. And yeah, I just like, it's so gorgeous. I also have the Shade and Light eye palette from Kat Von D. This is such a good palette. I love it. It's such a staple. This is the other MAC Singles eyeshadow palette that I was telling you guys about. This is in a project that I'm doing in a collab with the Jen Files here on YouTube. I will link her down below if I remember. Hopefully I do. If I don't, somebody tell me and I will. But these are all my like reds, pinks, corals. And then on the other side, I have all the like Dazzle shadow colors, which are so freaking stunning, you guys. I'm running out of arm space, but they're so stunning. I don't know why it's so dark. I have like all my vanity lights on here, and I have 2 ring lights on me, and I just don't know why it's like there's no light here. And then the Lorac, just the regular unzipped, not the gold. The gold is already, I showed you that one. This is just the regular one, and I've actually been using this one quite a bit, but it's getting old and very dry and very like lots of kick up, so I'm just not loving it, but I've used it enough. And then the Violet Voss Sakura Blossom. This is so pretty. Really love this. Again, it's more like coral pink, like just actually true pinks, but it's like the coral palette from Violet Voss, and very stunning. I love a lot of the beautiful shimmer shades and everything, but don't get enough use, so that's why I put it in a project. These are the These are the Makeup Geek eyeshadows that I have taken out of the singles palette. So these are the ones that I'm working on right now, and I really enjoy this palette. It's very beautiful. And these are also some more singles that are in another project. And last but not least, we have the Escape Pod palette from Kaleidos. And it's so pretty. This is so gorgeous. I wore this the other day. The color story, I don't know, it's okay, but I feel like I need to pair this with something to be really excited about my look, because I just feel like there's just something missing out of here. It just doesn't give me the whole vibe like the one that Angie did. Like, it doesn't give me like a whole finished vibe look from it. This just, I don't know, it gives me something to be desired, I guess. There's still something missing from this, but it is still a nice palette. But that is my last and final eyeshadow palette in my collection. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. But I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!